Hello Infiniteers, we are back in my Wall-E toy box, and today I'm going to show you how to build the Buy N Large Ultrastore. This is the only shot of this building in the movie, but it's one of the first places you see that is unique. And as you can see, it is a very long building with some other similar buildings in the distance. Now before we look closer at this building, I want to talk a bit about the layout of the city in the movie and how that affects my toy box. After Wall-E goes past the Ultrastore in the movie, we see him going past a gas station and a bank and a long line of billboards before he arrives at the transit station. Now, if I tried to include all of these places in my toy box in that order, this would extend in that direction for a long way, and it would be a very lengthy and a very large toy box, and there simply isn't enough memory to be able to build all of that. So I had to condense this world into a manageable size for the toy box, and I did that by eliminating the gas station, the bank, and the billboards. I hated to do that, but I just didn't have enough memory. So I chose to put the Ultrastore here at this end of the toy box so that when you look in that direction, over that way, you can see a long way into the distance and you have a street lined with buildings. And I chose to put the transit station, which we're going to build next time, behind the Ultrastore. So if this were the movie, a recreation of the movie, Wall-E would go rolling along in front of the Ultrastore, and when he reached the corner of the Ultrastore, he would go this way, down the side of it, to reach the transit station. And from here, he'd get up on the transit station, ride the transit line all the way down here to the downtown station, which gets him on the overpass out toward his home. And so this still preserves the flow of these places somewhat like we see in the movie, but it greatly reduces the size that we need for our toy box. So hopefully that makes sense as to why I chose to lay out the toy box the way I did. Again, in an ideal world, I would include everything, the gas station, the bank, all those billboards, and all of it, but because we're limited, we have to make decisions. Okay, let's take a closer look at the Ultrastore. It's a yellowy, off-white building with a sloped red roof along the sides and red trim. The entrance to the building has a huge B&L sign above it, and the sides of that protruding entrance are red. There are also big signs on the side of the building that say Buy N Large on the left, Ultrastore on the right of the entrance. And of course, we don't have any of these signs in the toy box, so we're going to have to use something else. Some other details to note are the street lights in the parking lot, as well as all of the garbage and debris, and of course, the massive B&L Ultrastore sign out front. So this is what I want to try to build today, and obviously my build is not going to be an exact replica, but it is similar enough that you can recognize the building for what it is, I think. So as we get started, let me pull up my screen grabs here. And we got one more building to put in before we get to the Ultrastore. So we're going to place a couple of spacer blocks, then go up to Building Sets Group 2 to this large brick skyscraper piece. And you're going to put that there so that the front of the building is lined up with the one next to it. Drop that there. And then put two of these buildings up here on this side, okay? And then I've dropped a few pieces ahead of time out here that we're going to need. And I'll show you where these are as I pick them up. So this pipe climb is out of Building Sets Group 2. And because there's some platforming in the toy box, we need to give them a way to get up on top of the buildings and things. So we're going to place this one right here. We're going to put this one right up here to cover up that seam. Okay? And then we'll pick up this piece, which is also out of Building Sets Group 2. It's the large electrical box. And we're going to sit this over here on the edge of the building, like this. And that's going to help the player be able to jump up from this building up on top of here. As you saw, I think in the playthrough video, you just hop up on top of this and then hop over. So this gives a way for the player to kind of get up on top of the buildings. All right, and then we can delete these little helper blocks here. And I'm actually going to pick this one up and move it over. And drop it right there. And that is going to take us to the corner of the Ultrastore. Let's pick this piece up so we don't have to scroll. And this is going to sit right here like this. And let me see, we need 1, 2. We're going to raise this up a little bit. So we're going to put 5 of them across with the middle one raised up. And we're doing that because we need to put the entrance underneath. I'm going to use the skyscraper lobby for that. This has the coloring that we need, basically, that matches the Superstore, the Ultrastore building in the movie. I don't like all the windows, but there's not really a better alternative. You could try to use basic blocks and find a texture that might match, but it just looks flat and plain. At least here you have some brick along the sides, and it looks kind of like it does in the movie. So I think that works pretty well. Your other option might be to go up to Building Sets Group 4. And you can use, let's see, do we have a piece up here that does not have windows? Yeah. So you could use that and build, a massive platform of these, but this is going to take up a ton of memory because you have 3 of these across and you have them too high. So right there you've got 18 pieces versus this one. But you can style this piece, at least, and you can get to a texture that also kind of matches what you see in the movie. I think the orange brick is going to be too orange. There's also this brick, which is too brick-like. But the red hacienda is pretty good. You don't want to use siding. Yeah, I think that's probably your closest bet if you want to do it this way. But again, that's going to take up a lot of memory because those customizable pieces take up a lot of memory. And I think this works fairly decent. Okay. Now, to kind of build some trim on this and have this kind of match what's in the movie, we're going to use some basic blocks to kind of make this a little more snazzy. So if we come down to the basic blocks drawer, we go left to the flat pieces. We put this right up against the side of the building like that. We're going to style this using the red metal theme. If you scroll over to the right, you have to go a little ways to find it. It's right here, and I'll set that to be my theme. This most closely matches what you see in the movie. Of course, you put one on either side, and then use the small one to go all the way up. That sets off the entrance pretty well. And then you can grab this awning piece, which is out of Building Sets Group 2. And you can put a couple of these across the front. like that. And that looks pretty decent. It's kind of similar to what you see in the movie. And I wish we had a large B&L sign that we can put up here to kind of cover that up. But the closest thing that I found is the Gusteau's sign. So I'll just use that. And we'll just kind of pretend that's the B&L sign. But it puts something on the front that looks fairly decent. All right, and then for the Buy N Large sign on the left and the Ultrastore sign on the right, again, since we don't have signs for that, we'll use some of these pieces here and just cover up the windows. And so we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That kind of puts the signs on either side like you see. And there's nothing there to read, but at least it kind of harkens to what you see in the movie. Now for the roof on the building, the closest thing we have is in Building Sets Group 3, and it is the Main Street Long Red Roof from the Main Street USA Disneyland pieces. And you can put this right on the front like that on either side. And the color of red there kind of matches the red metal for those basic blocks that we're using. That gives you the red roof. So that looks pretty good. I like that. And then we're going to just add a way to get up on top of that building. So we'll pick this large climbing pipe up again. And we're going to cover up these seams between these buildings. I think that's the best way to do that. And then we'll go to the next size smaller. And put one on either end of the building, like that. So now we have a way to get up there. Okay. That's starting to look pretty good. Okay, out front we had those street lights. And we have a piece that looks very similar to that in the decorations drawer. It's the dual street light. So this is what we're going to use for that. And to place these kind of evenly spaced along here, let me just drop that there for right now. Come back down to the terrain drawer. And we're going to put a block right here. Okay? Just like that. And then we're going to put our street light right off the end of it like that. So this would be right up next to that block. We're going to go one block out like you see there. Okay? And then we're going to go 11 nudges to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Like that. And then we'll go 7 this direction. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we'll just put another row of those directly across from the others. And then we'll delete that block. So that gives us the street lights in front of the store. And I like that. Now I'm going to put most of the plants and debris and decorations in, but I want to put a couple of them in today. Because one of the things we need is that large Buy N Large Store sign. We're going to put this here. And we need to style this. Hold on, let me get my screen grab here. Of course, I don't take these in the order that I need them. I think we can move this one over. I wanted this to be a little bit more closer to the store. And if we slide it that way, no, we're going to run into that. Okay. And we'll put that over there. But I want to put a few of these plant clusters in, just because they give us the pieces that we need. So if we style this one with the Wall-E style from the power disc, we get a B&L sign. Doesn't quite match the big one in the movie, but at least it's there. And so that gives us something. And then because we don't have signs over here that actually say Buy N Large, I thought what we could do, there's a plant cluster we can put down here. We have to style this first before we can put it in place, but this one has a smaller Buy N Large sign out front. So if we style it and then slide it into place, at least that gives us something that says Buy N Large up here against the building. So I think that's helpful. And then I also put a pile of debris over here with, again, the little B&L symbol up near it. If I can get the camera in close enough to see it. There you go. You can see it's right in the middle of that pile of rubble. So at least you got something on this side that says B&L, and you got something over on this side that says Buy N Large. And even though that says Gusteau's up there, at least it kind of gives you the idea of the building. And so I like that. And again, we'll put in all of the rest of the debris and detail around here a little bit later after we get done building everything. Well, I think that's all for me today. I know it's a little bit shorter video than usual, but it's going to take a while to build the transit station. So this is a good stopping point. Next time, as I said, I'm going to show you how to build the Buy N Large transit line that once moved people throughout the city, and a couple of transit stations. Until then, I want to thank you for watching. Leave a comment before you go, and let me know what you think of my recreation of the Buy N Large Ultrastore. Also, if there's something you would have done differently, let me know that too. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more Disney Infinity Toy Box videos like this. Have a great day!